Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple A's podcast. I am your host, Bleeds Purple and Gold, Isaac here. Vikings, they fall to 2-2 after losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers at Dublin in Ireland. 24-21 is the final score. And, even though, the Vikings were down 24-6 in the third quarter until they scored 15 unanswered, made it close, but at the end of the day, just not good enough. That's how I feel about this team, is that they aren't good enough to be a competing team as far as I'm concerned. A like a competitor for a championship caliber kind of team. They don't look like it. Their talent says otherwise, but I mean, on paper, when you watch the team, they're not good enough. They aren't good enough. And so there are a plethora of errors that went wrong for the Vikings. Not just on one side, on both sides of the football. There was a plethora of issues going on. So starting off with the defense, not good enough. Not impressed by the defensive line. The only plays that were made by the interior defensive line was Jalen Redmond. That was it. Nobody else really made plays. The Vikings defense on the ground allowed 131 yards allowed to Pittsburgh. And Kenneth Gainwell, they absolutely got trounced by Kenneth Gainwell, who had 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry. They absolutely got shredded by Kenneth Gainwell. There was no run stopping whatsoever on this defense. And this has been happening, I would say, for quite a while, the first 3 games, and now this game, the run stopping was non-existent. And going into this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers were not that good at running the football. They were bottom in the league, and they absolutely got shredded here. And even against Aaron Rodgers, now the stats don't show you that it was huge, but 18 of 22 in the pass percentage is abysmal. Especially that 80-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf, absolutely backbreaking. Nobody was even close to make a play on DK Metcalf before. And then by the time it was too late, by the time he was already gone, that's when they decided to react. Unacceptable. That 80-yard touchdown was unacceptable. And then, and zone coverage, soft zone coverage. This goes back to Brian Flores. How are you allowing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are not that good at running, how are you allowing them to run all over you? How are you allowing Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers to just walk all over you with short yardage plays? All they're just doing is just short yard plays. They only had 9.1 yards per attempt. And somehow, some way, you're allowing them to just gain yards, 6 or 7 yards a pass. How on earth are you allowing that? I get they made plays later on. They only allowed 24 points, but they should have allowed 34 points, if we're being quite honest. If we're being for real, or maybe at least 30 points, at least allowed. Just not good enough. This bend but don't break style of defense needs to stop. And I know Brian Flores is good at making adjustments and all that, but you need to adjust. Stop it with the zone. Okay, you can do zone on some plays, sure, but you're exclusively doing zone and not man-to-man. At least make it 50-50 with man-to-man and zone coverage. At least do something like that. Because I feel like that would work better if you did that. So, Brian Flores, not a great game plan. They made some plays, but you also didn't make. I mean, it just wasn't good enough. Your defense was not good enough, Brian Flores. So I know you can adjust, dude. So adjust. As far as the offense, it feels like deja vu, the same old issues that the Vikings have had for the first two games. The offensive line, I mean, it's really hard to blame the offensive line and their execution level. I mean, was not really all that great. I mean, 6 sacks allowed again. I mean, it's hard to blame when constant injuries happen, with Ryan Kelly going out of center and Justin School going out for Brian O'Neill, which luckily Brian O'Neill is not out for the season, but he's going to be out for a little bit. So, I mean, the injuries, I mean, it's hard to blame the players themselves when constant injuries happen and when they can't stay healthy. I mean, it is definitely frustrating nonetheless, but I mean, the offensive line stunk. I mean, Carson Wentz, I mean, he did okay. 30 of 46, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, the stat line alone looks great, but he also made a couple of he made plenty of bad decisions, especially through the first 3 quarters. 2 interceptions, not acceptable, really. I mean, multiple bad passes. I mean, but you also did keep the team in the game. You did keep the team in the game, which I will give him that, but Carson Wentz, I mean, he was all right. I will give him an okay, but he's also to blame for the 2 picks, which he's a backup for a reason, and I purely feel like it's still not a quarterback controversy at all. He's a backup for a reason. And so, I feel like the biggest issue that I have right now is Kevin O'Connell. Like, I mean, I'm not saying fire this dude, no. But I'm saying giving up play calling is what needs to happen. You need to swallow your own pride and admit that you can't do it. Penalties. Constant penalties are still becoming an issue. Going into this game, I mean, through the first 4 games, I mean, the Vikings overall, they had 9 penalties today. 8 of them accepted. 8 of them. And so, like, why is this happening? And through like 4 games, the Vikings had I've seen this stat line before through 4 games. The Vikings, I believe, have 37 penalties through 4 games. That isn't acceptable. That means your team is undisciplined and your play calling still not good. Not being able to adjust. Your lack, and the best way to describe KOC's play calling was with the lack of it was no self-awareness. No self-awareness. So, let me tell you the sequence on the last drive. When the defense, I mean, they didn't bend but don't break, but they actually forced a 3-and-out on Pittsburgh. They forced a 3-and-out. So you have a chance to potentially tie the game up for Will Reichard. Possibly even a touchdown, maybe. Okay, and then for the last drive, you had 2 penalties on a set of downs. I mean, you converted once. That was due to a Steelers penalty, but I mean, you had 2 penalties and a bad play call. So let's go down that road. Intentional grounding on 1st and 10. Sets up 1st and 26. Okay. Carson Wentz just threw the ball, so that's not good at all. Instead of taking the sack, you essentially went backwards 16 instead of a little bit more than what you had to. So unacceptable by Carson Wentz. There was no one there. And then and then afterwards, it turns into 4th and 12, which is all right. It's not the worst thing to happen, but you could potentially make it. 4th and 12, you start off that with a delay of game penalty. Like, why aren't you pay attention to the clock? It's right there. Like, that is drive killing. But you even still have a chance. 4th and 17. You still have a chance to convert this. Okay. I believe it's like the situation is like 14 seconds left, no timeouts, and you have to complete a deep pass. 4th and 17, deep pass, sideline pass to where the receiver or the tight end could get the first down, go out of bounds, and so they can get themselves set and the clock stops. But Kevin O'Connell didn't do that. He had his receivers and tight ends in the middle of the field. Why? Why was your receivers in the middle field? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, sure, Carson Wentz threw it in the middle of the field too, but like, look back at the film and tell me, like, what was Carson Wentz supposed to do there? Like, what was he supposed to do? You threw away the game, and ultimately, your lack of self-awareness at knowing, like, at planning where your receiver should go, or your design, costed you this game. You probably could have lost this game, maybe in overtime, or you maybe could have won, but you will never know unless you did that. But we won't know because you did that. I mean, you just don't get it, dude. Kevin O'Connell does not get play calling at all. Like, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, defense isn't that great, and you are off to a slow start yet again, too. Off to slow starts again. So, even the Cleveland Browns, and I don't know if I think this, but I don't believe it, but like, you might even lose to Cleveland week 5. The Cleveland Browns defense next week is pretty good, and that doesn't look winnable against Cleveland. You're not a serious competing team. You need to give up play calling because it just doesn't look, you don't know what you're doing. You're good as a regular head coach, but you are not a good play caller. You're not good. And that's the bottom line. They might lose to Cleveland. I don't know, but right now they might make the playoffs, sure, but you're just not good enough to compete for a championship. You might be one and done again if you make the playoffs. Sorry, that's just how I feel right now. You might even, if you lose to Cleveland, it's over. So, it's not looking good for the Vikings, man. Give up play calling, Kevin O'Connell, and they're just not good enough. They made a few plays, but ultimately it didn't really matter. So they're 2-2. They still have a chance to be 3-2, but with this loss, going into the bye week, you have the gauntlet of the schedule. It's going to get ugly after the bye week. So, again, we'll see how they do, but right now, I'm not confident right now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Skol Vikings.